and that makes things easy. Unless, of course, you're trying to get a mortgage. When it comes to qualifying for a cash-out refi, gig economy workers come with more obstacles, more complexities, and more stress, right? Wrong. Dial 855-875-CASH, and one of our cash-out mortgage specialists will help you qualify for the lowest interest loan possible, regardless of your source of income. It's the easiest call you'll make all day. That's 855-875-CASH. Make the cash call today. First Mortgages, Impact Mortgage Group, DBA Cash Call Mortgage, 19500 Jamboree Road, Irvine, California, 92612, NMLS 128231. Equal housing lender, not licensed in all states, including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Again, that's 855-875-CASH. Make the cash call today.
This Christmas, the Salvation Army is fighting to ensure that every child in our community is warm, safe, and well-nourished. For $30, you could feed a family of 4 for a week. For $150, you could feed a meal to 150 children in need. The Salvation Army provides over 9 million nights of shelter to people in need in the U.S. Help the Salvation Army fight for those in need all over our community this holiday season by donating at salvationarmy.listenandgive.org.
Odds are you've got a dent, ding, or scratch on the body or bumper of your car or truck that makes you cringe when you see it. Dent Pro Las Vegas will come to you and fix it on the spot. Visit dentprolasvegas.com or call 702-368-3368.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
Oh, with the Joe's Angle of the Day. Don't forget, if you are looking for a spectacular gift for somebody, I can't think of anything that they're going to love more than some great food for free. So get them a gift card to Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab, located at the Forum Shops at Caesars Palace. The number to call is 702, and I blanked out of the phone number, which I do once. 792-9222. Okay, there we go.
Say that again?
Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab, 792-92. I'll look it up while I'm doing this. Anyway, go ahead. Let's get to the angle.
Sure, and I teased an angle of the day that's not the angle of the day when I looked at it. So I'll just give you the angle of the day I talked about before, which is Lakers now 14-2 to the under since Magic Johnson brought in Luke Walton for a meeting about playing defense. The actual angle of the day today from Ralph Michaels, since December 21st, 2016, Weber State 21-2 to the over on the road. That's 91.3% blindly playing Weber State on the road. They've been going over by 11 points per game. And, of course, they're coming off that big upset over BYU.
Their first win against the Cougars following 15 straight annual losses.
And they'll be at Fresno State tonight. Current total in the 154 range for Weber State.
A bit of a sandwich as well, because Weber State's next game after this will be the Beehive Classic matchup on the weekend against the fast-rising Aggies of Utah State. It is 702-792-9222, by the way. Once in a while, I just go a little bit blank on these phone numbers. But I found it. Patrick Everson is here, along with Teddy Covers. I'm Dave Kochen. Mark Seidel is doing the production of the show. And he was the one who let us know, in case you missed it, that Paul Goldschmidt is now a member of the St. Louis Cardinals multiplayer swap, with Goldschmidt going to the Cardinals and a bunch of guys going to the Diamondbacks, who have already lost Patrick Corbin, so it has not been a great offseason so far for Diamondbacks fans. Patrick Everson with Covers.com, and as we head into the playoff matchups, before we do that, tell us about all the exciting stuff taking place right now at Covers.com, including your stories.
Well, we got a couple of pieces. I got a couple of pieces up on the bowl games, which we've been talking about throughout the show here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the college football playoffs in just a moment here. So, stories are touching on all those with the opening lines and early action and so forth. There's a good video up on the college football page too about 4 things to watch out for during bowl season, and we've kind of alluded to them a little bit during the show here, and that's if team motivations, whether teams are going through coaching changes, those sorts of things, all things to be very much paying attention to as far as motivations when you're going into bowl games. So that's a good video to check out that Matty Palmer did for us. And then, of course, we got you guys, Dave and Teddy, and a host of others, a cast of thousands for the Covers experts. If it's, look, if you like to have some skin in the game, but you don't necessarily have a lot of time to do the research, Covers is a great place to get a lot of information. But if you just don't have the time for it, but you want to have a wager, the Covers experts is a great option, and we're continuing to run our promotion there using the promo code ESPN Covers. ESPN Covers new users to Covers experts can get 50% off their first purchase. 50%.
I know I have a college basketball game and an NHL game up tonight at Covers. Teddy, what do you have?
Yeah, I've got a big play in the NBA tonight. I got a college hoops 3-pack, and we're involved in NFL action for Thursday as well.
Good stuff. So a smorgasbord available from Teddy Covers. Check them out at covers.com. So we get to the playoff games, and it's up to you. What order do you want to go in?
Well, let's go with the Cotton Bowl first, just because at least there was a little motion there. I just talked about both these with John Murray at the Superbook. First thing Sunday when they came out, I was in the Superbook waiting for him to show them on the screen and everything, and had a good conversation with John then. Got back to him a little bit earlier today just to get a little bit of an update. Notre Dame, or Clemson, I should say, opens 11.5. This did tick down to 11 briefly on Sunday at the Superbook anyway, then back to 11.5. So it's been pretty steady there. Not much going on there. John said nothing really from the sharp players on this yet, but there are a significant amount of over bets coming in so far.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No question on that. And honestly, the same can be said of the Oklahoma game, Oklahoma-Alabama.
Look at what the total is in this game.
I know.
It's 79, and nobody's getting scared of it.
Right. And I assume it will go up, but this is one I don't think the Superbook has moved off of 14 at all yet. And again, Johnson, nothing really from the sharp players yet. A lot of overbets, a lot of parlays on the two favorites in this game.
Have any of the guys indicated to you where they think the sharp money is going to show up?
That's a good question because I did ask it, and they weren't really certain, but I think they feel like that the Clemson number is going to go higher. However,
that would have to be sharp money, wouldn't it? Because the Irish have
such
unbelievable public backing.
But here's the thing: here's where the support is. The support on Notre Dame is going to be money line. John Murray said. He said they're going to love that plus 375 or whatever. I didn't look exactly what it is right now, but initially plus 375 to win this game outright. And that's what he said Sunday.
Gone down in a lot of books. It's plus 350, plus 340 in that range.
Right, right. He said there will be a ton of support for Notre Dame money line. Obviously, they've already seen it, and he said some straight bets on both underdog money lines in these games. They're going after the plus money, so it will be interesting to see. I just think we're a little far out. It's a little too early to tell, but I know from a couple of guys. I talked to Jeff Stoneback about these games on Monday with MGM books as well, and he expects they're going to need Oklahoma. So maybe Oklahoma ends up being the sharp side there.
And when you talk about the early money and the sharp money, and there hasn't been that much action, on some of these games so far, the only reason someone's going to go in there and make a bet right now and lock up that money and lock up the bankroll is if they think that number may not be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
This is not about betting opinions right now. It's about betting numbers.
That's why the two games I played, I've already got the best of the number because I thought, these numbers are going to move. And
exactly. And that's the only reason. If you say, okay, what do I need to bet Notre Dame Clemson today? No, you don't. Doesn't matter which side you like. I
don't think you have to bet Alabama. If you like Alabama, you don't have to bet them now. I don't know that it's going to 14.5.
I think it will.
Maybe late.
Some of the offshore leading indicator books are telling me that this might go to 14.5.
Okay. All right.
But exactly. Do you have to rush to the betting window to bet Alabama today? No, you don't. No. But the sense is this line going to close 14.5 or higher? Probably, though. Kyler Murray's something else, man. Is there a quarterback in the SEC like Kyler Murray?
No. He's fantastic. Unfortunately, he can't play defense. NFL early moves. We have a few games where the money's been showing up. One of them is really interesting, Patrick, because the Ravens are getting action. And I would have to assume this is sharp action against the Chiefs.
That's pretty certain. This one opened 8.5 at the Superbook on Sunday night and was down to 7 in a hurry. John said most of that move at the Superbook was just going with the market, but they were seeing some Ravens cash along the way.
Less than that,
but going with the market, and now it's 6.5.
Yes,
exactly. It's 6.5 today. And so surely there's some money coming in on Baltimore. And again, it's just, this is just a week-to-week thing. But to Teddy's point on the bowl games, you're only betting a week out if you feel like you're not going to get the best of the number. And anybody who got on the Ravens early definitely got a much better number than they're getting now.
Yeah, and of course they're betting a defensive discrepancy there that's pretty significant. It's not often you see an underdog of more than a touchdown in the NFL that has nearly a yard and a half per play advantage on the defense side of the football. The Ravens' defensive numbers now at 4.6 yards per play allowed. They're lapping the rest of the league. And Kansas City off another non-cover last week in Oakland, in large part because they scored 40 and didn't really sniff a point spread cover in the fourth.
Needed a late touchdown to cover teaser bettors. That would have been a great result for the house if they'd only won by 3. The the Panthers, losers of 4 straight now, from 6-2 all the way to 6-6. Going to Cleveland this weekend, and despite the losing streak, though, it looks like the early money is on the Carolina side, Patrick.
Yeah, it's looking that way, which did surprise me a little bit. I mean, you never know exactly what you're going to get out of Cleveland, but Carolina opens pick at the Superbook and is up to -2. So on the road, despite being very sluggish the last few weeks and really looking like a decent playoff team a few weeks ago, a month later, they're going to have to get some work done to stay in that playoff picture. But the money's coming that way.
Yeah, there was some concern about Cam Newton heading into the week.
His feelings are hurt.
Newton, his shoulder is hurt, and
No, he probably is. He's taking a beating. But
he's taking a beating and a half.
Bad game last weekend.
Sure, he had a miserable game, but the Newton is now likely to play and is able to practice.
He's not going to sit out. He's a tough guy. Look, the Dolphins are playing the Patriots. It's in Miami, and if you value history at all, you have to look at this and say, "Boy, this isn't the Patriots. This is not the favorite stop for the Patriots. They've had some issues against this team on this field, and I think that explains some of the early line movement in this game. Is that, New England's better than Miami, but they just don't play well when they go down there.
Yeah, there's something to that, and it's been banned. I think there's been a couple of stories on it out there this week on it that it's just, Miami seems to, nick up New England a little bit down in Miami with some regularity, and that would explain the number going from 8.5 down to 7.5. It bounced between 8.5 and 8 a couple of times at the Superbook this week, but now down at 7.5. Which so there are certainly some Dolphins believers out there.
And of course, the Patriots have played some pretty lousy football at times on the road this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a legit home road dichotomy. Even the winning cover against the Jets a couple of weeks ago. Jets are knocking on the back door in that ball game. Didn't get in, but when you think about the game at Tennessee that they played again, not that far in the rear view mirror.
They didn't exactly kill the Bears, even though they covered that game.
Sure, the game against the Lions. I mean, the Patriots haven't been road juggernauts. There has been, and you don't think about New England ever as having a road-home dichotomy. This year, they have. That being said, Dolphins win and cover against Buffalo, and I loved it that they got it, but it was pretty fraudulent last week. They were outgained by 240 yards at home by the Buffalo Bills.
And Clay should have caught the ball.
Sure, there was 18 different things that the Bills did.
Great play by
right.
Josh Allen. It really was. It was a great play by Josh Allen late in the game, and who knows what would have happened had he made that catch. Now, here's one. We'll close out this segment with this. I'm not surprised by this. Trubisky's probably going to be back in the field this week for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And the bettors have, at least the bettors with money in their pockets early on, Patrick, they have bet the Bears in this game and have taken it down to 3.
Yeah, this was one of the Superbook opened at 4, briefly to 4.5, now all the way down to 3. This was a game I did discuss with John Murray, and 3 was the look-ahead line on this game at the Superbook a couple of weeks back when they were looking ahead to Week 14, and obviously it's come back toward the Bears. John said he expects this to be one of the bigger handle games of the year.
That's the flex game. It's a Sunday night game, so yeah, it's 2 very public teams. A standalone game, yeah, that's going to do a lot of business.
Oh, of course. And, of course, the Rams coming off, when I talk fraudulent covers, the Rams didn't have their A game in Detroit last week. And they still won by 2 touchdowns on the road, which is kind of scary.
One of the only bad results on Sunday for the books was that game.
Yeah, but the Rams are a scary team, man. That's a really good football team.
Well, when you can play as lousy as they did and still win the game by 2 touchdowns,
sure,
that's a pretty good sign.
But all that being said, it's outdoors, and Fangio's defense is no joke, and the Bears' D is coming off a bad game.
Yeah.
They didn't play well against the Giants.
The Bears got lucky in that everybody else in the division lost as well.